Unfortunately, PFF's Black Friday sale is no longer going on, but we have a brand new discount to give you guys right now. That is a 30% off discount this holiday season with the promo code HOLIDAY30 to get 30% off a PFF Plus subscription. You get access to our player prop tool that can help you make back whatever you pay for PFF Plus and then some. It can also help you win a fantasy football championship this year. Get the same grades and analytics that every single NFL team uses and every single college football team uses as well. And you get access to the best mock draft simulator on the planet for the 2026 NFL Draft. Again, Holiday 30 to get 30% off a PFF Plus subscription right now. UNLV at Boise State. That's a Mountain West Championship game. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Storyline to know in this game is that it's the third year in a row where the Mountain West Conference comes down to these two programs. It's almost become an annual tradition that the Mountain West Championship game is between UNLV and Boise State at the end of the year. Again, third consecutive season where it's come down to these two teams. And the Broncos have won each of the past two games against UNLV in the Mountain West Championship game. Boise State searching for its seventh Mountain West title overall, while UNLV still has not won the conference since joining it in 1999. These two teams did play earlier this year, with Boise State winning back in Week 8 by a 56-31 final score.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was a game where UNLV's defense really cost them. We know Dan Mullen's offense, Anthony Calandria, Jaden Thomas, all of this, they can score enough points for sure. The problem all year when they have struggled has been their defense. That included in that first trip to Boise. We'll see if they can come back and find a few more stops in this game, especially on the ground, but that's going to be a big theme again. I'm expecting a high-scoring game. It's going to be a lot of fun on both sides.
Absolutely. All right, you have the UNLV offense, which has had to carry this team at a lot of points this year. Dalton, what should we know in that matchup?
So, the Jaden Thomas and the run game is always in the spotlight for this UNLV team. They do want to get east and west in the run game and create explosive plays on the ground. But I thought one of the things that you saw in the first game between these two teams, Anthony Calandria with his lowest passing grade of the season against a really good Boise State secondary, and something that complements this UNLV run game so well is Calandria's ability to throw down the field, deep down the field, especially to the outer parts of the field. This season on 10-plus yard throws, 93.5 passing grade. That's the seventh best in the country, and he's top 20 in big-time throws, accurate throw rate. Basically, everything that Calandria does to throw the ball downfield complements an elite run game that UNLV has. The challenge is this time, especially with as much as he likes to throw the ball outside, I think you could easily argue that Amarion McCoy and Jeremiah Irby are the best pair of cornerbacks in the group of five. They've been outstanding since last year. Boise State plays a lot of quarters coverage, but they trust those guys in single coverage matchups outside. Can Calandria more consistently find those explosive plays on the outside, or is UNLV going to be a little bit more one-dimensional and going to have to beat Boise State in the trenches? They put up 31 points last time, but it was not Calandria's best game, and they may need even more than that to win this game if their defense is going to stay as porous as it's been all year.
Yeah, and they struggled against Boise State, again, allowing 56 points in their loss to Boise State back in Week 8, and really I'm looking at, can they limit the big plays from running back Dylan Riley in this one? Because, listen, Ashton Jeanty is no longer at Boise State, the Heisman Trophy runner-up last year, the number 6 overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders, one of the greatest running backs we've seen in college football in recent history. But even though he's gone and left big shoes to fill, Dylan Riley has filled those shoes pretty admirably this year. Right now, the sophomore has 737 yards after contact. It's a top 20 mark in college football. And his best game of the year came against UNLV in Week 8. In that game, Dylan Riley ran for a career-high 201 rushing yards with 86 yards after contact and a touchdown. He averaged 13.4 yards per carry in that game against UNLV. That forced UNLV to commit a lot more defenders in the box in that game, and that in turn helped out quarterback Maddox Madsen to post an 89.2 passing grade with 4 touchdown passes. Maddox Madsen is a quarterback who thrives off of play action, and when defenses expect to run, Maddox Madsen is not as good when he's an obvious passing down. So Boise State's going to want to really rely on this run game once again against what's been a major struggling UNLV run defense this year. UNLV allows 6.3 yards per carry this year. I believe the only team in the country that's worse is Rutgers. So UNLV allows the second most yards per carry in college football this year. If they cannot force Maddox Madsen into obvious passing downs where he's often struggled, this defense could also struggle to come up with any stops in this game once again.
It's been a problem all year. It's been a problem against Boise State. Close win week 0 over Idaho State. It was a problem against Miami, Ohio in a close win shootout win over Air Force. I mean, you've just seen this all season. They lost to New Mexico early this season. You've seen all season that this UNLV run defense is the Achilles heel. And especially going into Boise with the backs that they have, you mentioned especially Riley teeing off on them last time. What is the solution here? Because we've seen 12 games of this and it really hasn't gotten a whole lot better. If they can't at least somewhat contain things on the ground, you're exactly right. You want to beat Boise State? The teams that have beaten them this year have forced Maddox Madsen to beat them.
Yeah.
You have to do it. If you let them get the run game going, all those tight ends get the play action game going, Boise's going to put up a lot of points. It can be done, but I'm not sure it can be done by this UNLV defense because we haven't seen it really all year.
Speaking of Dalton, will Boise State go 3 for 3 over UNLV in the Mountain West title games over the last 3 years, or will UNLV finally get the monkey off its back and pull off this win?
I do think we will get another high-scoring game because that's what these two teams do, especially against each other. I do think UNLV's run defense is a big problem because we have yet to see in basically any game this season that it hasn't been a problem, win or lose, right? And you still have those two great backs, Dylan Riley and Sire Gaines also, right? And Maddox Madsen, if he can get into the play-action concepts, then he looks pretty good. And one other thing, Boise State very rarely loses to their in-conference opponents at home, right? They lost to Fresno State earlier in the year at home, and that was pretty shocking because they just never lose games on the blue turf. I'm taking Boise State again. I think they get it done for the third straight year, 42-35. I do think Calandria will look a little bit better in this game, but it's just too many concerns for me about this UNLV defense that they're just going to get in a shootout, and with their run defense, they're going to end up on the wrong side of it again.
Yeah, I have Boise State winning as well. I have 34-30. I think the Rebels will put up more of a fight than they did earlier back in October, but their defense once again is going to struggle to stop this Boise State ground game. Boise State wins their third straight Mountain West title over UNLV. And a great point by Andrew Harbaugh in the chat saying that Dylan Riley was 9 yards shy of surpassing what Ashton Jeanty did to UNLV last year. So they made Dylan Riley looked like Ashton Jeanty in that game, honestly. He averaged over 13 yards per
And it
carry.
was only, on like 14 or 15 carries,
15
right?
carries for 200 yards.
That's just...
Again, 13 yards per carry. You can't have that happen. Yeah.
Nope.
That's
it's hard enough to have their usual average of 6.5, and you're going twice that. Yeah. I mean, if he's going 13 yards a carry again, Boise's going to win.
You're getting easily a first down on every single carry in that game. You have to be better than that for UNLV. That's priority number one is stopping this run game for Boise State. And this one, our guy Donnie in the chat is calling out a UNLV upset. He wanted one of us to call it out. Unfortunately, neither of us did. But I will admit that there is a road here for UNLV to pull this off, though. So.
No, certainly. Look, UNLV's offense is good enough to beat anybody.
Yeah.
Their defense is good enough or bad enough to lose to anybody.
Yeah.
This is the problem is you're just getting that kind of game here. And if it was in UNLV, maybe I would. The computer rankings spit out Boise as the top one, so they get the home game, and that's the other consequence here. We don't see New Mexico or San Diego State because this game was decided by computer rankings, and apparently that's the computer's favorite matchup. It wanted to see it a third year in a row.
3 years in a row now. We get Boise State and UNLV in the Mountain West title game.